Well, I can let you guys know one thing. ZombieGrub did ask me if race switching was allowed. And I said yes, absolutely. So obviously I expect her to play Zerg in game 1. Probably Zerg in, excuse me, Terran in game 1. Maybe Terran in game 2. There's also a chance that ZG is going to bust out some Protoss, since everyone is a Protoss player these days. Even when they say they're not, there is a Protoss inside all of us. So maybe we'll see the ZG toss. But I don't know. Or maybe she is a ZVZ expert. Maybe she's got a ZVZ build that she really believes in. I don't know why, but she asked me. So it may not be TVZ every game. They're currently doing their vetoes. As soon as they are ready, we can just go ahead and hop into it. Obviously, after this, we'll get ready for probably the highest MMR match of the night. Hero Marine versus Young Yakov. I'm actually really excited for that one. I think it's going to be good. Yakov is confident. Even if his best of 3 against Spirit last Monday didn't go as well as maybe he would have hoped. He said he immediately gave me some updates. He's like, I could have done X, Y, Z and it would go better. Don't worry, I'm so ready for Gabe. I was like, all right, mate. No worries. You don't need to convince me. I've already made the match. I'm not worried about it. I'm a Young Yakov believer. And obviously, it's always nice to have Gabe. And last but not least, Euthermal, his undefeated record on the line. 4-0 on the Friday evenings. Maybe Baby Marine is the first one ever to stop him. I don't know what to make of Game 1 Pie. You know, the funny thing is that the Battlecruiser build that I think Dave had in mind is actually really good against Phoenix opening. If you play BCs correctly, there was a period where I ran into Euthermal a lot on the ladder. And Euthermal would play BCs against me all the time. And even when I knew he would open up BCs, it'd be so good against my Phoenix. I could just never kill them. I'd be forced to kind of overreact to them. And then by the time that I could deal with one, there's a second one. And I was only defending while he was expanding non-stop. I would basically end up always losing. And once in a while when I'm laddering, if I don't think of BCs and the first BC jumps into the main, I don't have a battery, I feel like I'm almost dead immediately. But Dave, his BC was 3.5 minutes late. Instead of a French TGV, it was an M-Track. So it wasn't too scary. Yeah, it was very late. He was supply blocked badly at 60 out of 62. And obviously you need more than 2 free supply for a battlecruiser. It was a good idea. The execution just wasn't quite there. I think it showed up at minute 8. Like 8:40. And then instead of suiciding it on at least as many probes as possible, we also flew away from the probes to then battle a fleet beacon. Questionable choice. Well, as long as the game has had fun, isn't that what it's all about, guys? Alright, they're taking their sweet time, but I do really expect ZG and Light to be ready soon. I actually thought a while ago that Light was a bit higher. I thought Light was around like 4.7, 4.8. But when I asked him, he said like, oof, I haven't played a whole lot lately. Well, apparently he has been practicing for this match, because this is a lot of games in a short period. Damn, look at this grinder. This is a very, very decent activity. Right now his profile says 4,300 and something. ZombieGrub says that Light carried the process of vetoing. Because they're going over the servers right now, but it's alright. Shout out to Indy and TKL obviously for being here. Hopefully they'll have fun. They're probably wondering what on earth did I cook with these matches in the beginning, but it doesn't always have to be the same 20 pro gamers that we see every Monday, every Tuesday, every Wednesday, every Thursday. Light is probably one of the 10 most active people in Starcraft. Sure, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you're playing a lot, right? TKL's caster. TKL's amigo. He's bringing a Mon Ami. Both Indy and ZG confused over Malgania, but Malgania apparently the co-caster of TKL. He's known in Heroes of the Storm. I think they still have a bit of a scene. I know Keldor is still casting some Heroes of the Storm as well. Sometimes you just randomly see people live on Twitch. You're like, wow, you still stream and do your thing? I honestly didn't know that Keldor was still active. We need post-game interviews with our players today. Nah, I try to keep it speedy, mate. If I start doing that, then the 4-hour broadcast will start turning into a 5.5 to 6 hour broadcast. Once in a while, I don't mind doing it, but today we're just here for the games. We're here to give out $500 and wave the Big Brain Bouts goodbye for a long time. Just make it fun. But obviously, everyone is always allowed to stream their own point of view as well. And if you guys then want to stop by that channel and ask them about the games, it's more than allowed. We are very, very chill about it. Here we go.
Let's get it on. Round 1, fight.
Top right side of ley lines. We are looking at the main base of our Australian Zerg making his debut. Shout out to Ragnar who suggested him a while ago. And I was like, you know what? That is a great idea. Because I do love the cranky ducklings. I appreciate them. They're always live. This is Light VIP. Currently 4,300 and something MMR. And he said he's here to do his best pie impression. And then ZombieGrub said, what is that? Dying to Hellions? And he said, yep. So apparently he saw that series. In the bottom left side we are looking at the main base of our very own, our beloved, one of the greatest casters we've ever had in the rich history of this video game. It's our American Terran, ZombieGrub. He sent the VOD to Light to help him prepare. Not sure what he could take away from that, mate. He's like, oh, this is going to be really useful. And then you see you lose 27 drones in minute 4 in every game. ZG should be around this. Like, ZG has not been mega active on the ladder, so it's really hard to pinpoint anyone on MMR these days. But in my mind, this is kind of the level that ZG should have. It's definitely been even better in the past, but maybe the same goes for Light. Like, Pi is, let's say, 150, 200 MMR below Light VIP. But Pi got absolutely demolished by ZombieGrub. So, this is a tiny bit of a step up. But in my mind, it should be close and competitive. ZG is a Warcraft 3 gamer now. I saw her play a couple games. It is really funny to me to see everyone stream and play the game that I obviously played a crazy amount in my life. Basically from the year 2003, give or take, to 2010. I played Warcraft every single day. A crazy amount. Non-stop grinding. The Russians did not call me Roddy, but they called me Zadroti. Which will be funny for the Russian-speaking folks out there. Because I was known to be a very active video gamer. But to now see that the guys that I casted with, see them enjoy the game that I grew up with, it's kind of fun. Are you still crazy good at the game? I wouldn't say that I'm crazy good at the game. But if you let me play for half an hour so I can get used to the timings and like just the way that my mouse would feel in the game, right, I'd be good here. Right now, the very first game would be very painful, but after that, I'd be picking it up very quick. It's just like getting my hand in a certain position, going through the same motions. Obviously, I wouldn't be as good as I was a long time ago, but I wouldn't be a complete amateur. It's like, I have no idea what to do. A couple of slow links ran to the other side of the map. They got picked off. Well, I'm not really getting a whole lot done. ZG already has her first armory on the way. Hellions can morph into Hellbats. Now when I watched Loco play a couple like full games as well. It's not that I only seen like a minute. A few times when I had a tiny bit of time or I had to wait until something was coming up and I couldn't really stream, I was like, alright, let's see what Loco is doing. I watched him play like a full game or two and honestly it looks pretty good. Like, it does not look like mega low level Warcraft at all. Kind of felt that he had a pretty good idea already of what to do or what he wanted to do. I'm sure that he's missing like sharp timings and maybe killer instinct, but when it comes to just like microing and battling and building the right units, all of that looked pretty damn good. The good news for Light here, guys, is that Light has a 2-base setup. And it's a lot easier in general to save your drones when you have a 2-base setup than when you're already spreading yourself thin across 3 bases. He is warping in, or morphing in rather. We don't warp as Zerg. A third hatchery, but it's obviously not saturated yet. ZombieGrub is going to morph a couple of her Hellions into Hellbats far away. Clicks them right next to the queens. Let's not lose any queens here, Light, if we can. Roaches are in production, not out yet. The ZG should go for drones here, I think. think at this point ZG is giving Light a lot of time. Light is gonna pull some drones into Hellbats. That's a bold move, Cotton. Oh, now we got extra aliens showing up. It really is Spy all over again. Could be worse, but it's obviously somewhat painful. 8 drones and a queen and a bit of lost mining time. ZG or Hellions are gnarly. What is Light VIP up to here? All right, maybe he really is gonna do the best Pi cosplay. But no, it's not quite. We're gonna build a few more drones again. I think there was a Liberator in the main as well, right? Yeah. It seems like the defense against the Lib was good. Liberator only has 1 kill. ZombieGrub right now doesn't have a great answer, by the way, to these roaches running to her side of the map. Hellions don't really want to fight roaches straight up. In a perfect world for ZG, at least his command center finishes up real soon. Thank you so much to Captain Hare for the 5 gifted subs. I appreciate it, mate. Command center is done. ZG is going to ignore these roaches. Move the Hellies out. Now there are queens in the mix as well. I don't know. I feel like we are lacking numbers. On the side of Light, I am afraid that he's just lacking numbers right now to really make a bust happen. Ooh, he's playing like cats. Sending the queens to the other side of the map just to drop a little bit. ZG could maybe morph them into Hellbats, and I think 4 Hellbats would actually work their way through an Evo chamber rather quickly. Instead, ZombieGrub is going to settle for a couple drones over here at the 3rd. That's not a bad choice either. Still like 2 drones and bonus damage even with the Spore dying. I'm starting to like this a lot for ZombieGrub now, guys. He's very safe at home. He's working with a 7 worker lead. Extra factories coming online. I think ZG just has a lot of experience with mech playstyles. I think he's got a good feel for what he needs to get done to make sure he doesn't fall too far behind. And obviously, it's always producing SCVs. Adding in the additional production facilities in time. Right now, Light, even if he has a supply lead, I think he's in a tiny bit of trouble. Well, the Overlord is still dropping the queens. This is a nice play. Obviously, once you've got a tier 2 Overlord, you can start dropping some creep. And Light is using that to then unload the queens, drop a creep tumor. And then you don't even need to stick around. The creep tumor will always finish up and will start spreading creep. It's very nice. It's going to be annoying for ZG. It's going to eventually force her to use a lot of scans. Or maybe build a Raven that she didn't really want to build. Like, all of that is cute and nice. But that doesn't make Light's army more powerful. And ZG now with 5 factory production. It's going to take like a minute. Let's say 2 minutes, and then ZG is already going to have a really scary army that's going to be incredibly hard to defeat with Lairtech Zerg. Especially Lairtech Zerg of a crappy economy. Couple of roaches run into the Widow Mines. They get picked off immediately. The queens are still here. ZG does not want to lose this Banshee. ZG, cloak the Banshee, cloak the Banshee. Oh, that's a mistake. That is a big mistake on the side of ZombieGrub. I think she'll be fine. Like, this is going to delay her 3rd base. See, obviously he's not in any danger of dying. Very nice job by Light. Again, dropping creep tumors. If being annoying would win you the game, I'd say right now it's 1-0 for Light. But as effective and as efficient that could be in a game of Starcraft, that does not make you win. But right now, if you're ZombieGrub, you're probably starting to feel really uncomfortable. It's like, this is just frustrating. There's creep everywhere. The scans do not quite get all the active tumors. All of a sudden, this base that only had 2 workers a while ago is now mega saturated. Light VIP is going to move the Spore over. Light is making plays. He's doing a lot of good things. He doesn't have roach speed yet, by the way. That's very late. ZombieGrub's probably waiting. Like, what? Again? Yeah, again. Unfortunately, again. But ZG... her army is getting more and more terrifying. Viking does not quite get the drop lord. That's very frustrating for ZombieGrub. Seeing there are no drones at all at the 4th, it's gonna make you feel pretty good about your life. ZG desperately need to get their hands, I think, on these refineries. If you play mech, it is so important you eventually get that 5th and 6th gas up and running. Can Light fight it? Tank count only 3. Thor count is 4. Maybe. Losing that Banshee, by the way, was legitimately a very big loss. Having a Banshee around now would make your life so much easier. Tank count is low, but the Thors are very tanky. Aliens are waiting. Oh, that's a well-defended base. I mean, Light really has learned from that series that ZombieGrub played against Spy. But can Light eventually take out all these mech units? Because delaying a base is great, getting a couple of SCVs is awesome, but you're gonna have to fight Big Daddy Thor and all the tanks back up eventually. One tank has gone down, one Thor is low on HP. It kind of feels that Light has won a lot of tiny battles, but it's ZombieGrub that's gonna end up winning the war here. I don't see Light really easily transitioning out of the current units that he's working with. And I'm afraid that it's already too late for just a couple of Roaches, Lings and Ravages to win this game. Unless ZG makes a big mistake with her tanks, but I'm not expecting that. I mean, the fact that this command center is still not in. Where is it? ZG, why did it go all the way back? Uh oh, no, Thor is actually kind of exposed. It won't get picked off. Tanks are derping a little bit around some supply depots. Quite the first game over here between Light and ZombieGrub. Finally, guys, the CG has been able to land her orbital. This is a very well defended main. Ravager count is getting crazy high. Light is looking for this command center. I think he's gonna get it. Can the SCVs? 35, 4, 3, 2, 1. SCVs, go, go, go. If they're quick, immediately, ZombieGrub, you can save this, but you need to repair it now. No, it's too late. It is too late. The command center burns down. I think that was a command center that was absolutely savable. But the SCVs were just a little bit too slow. Now the game honestly does look a whole lot better for Light. Taking out a base like this and still working with a economic advantage. Spire on the way. Can we start battling all these tanks? There are 13 tanks. How on earth do you attack into a Terran with 13 tanks? Light apparently seems to think wherever the tanks are not. Honestly, bulletproof logic. Can't really argue over it. Command center taking a lot of damage. Thor not quite participating in the fight. SCVs are working overtime trying to keep this orbital alive. It will live, but at the cost of 29 SCVs. ZG has a big army, but her economy is just not growing. And now the Thors have gone on a little adventure all by themselves. They will both die. Is it Light then after all? Honestly impressive. Thank you Andy Matey for the 21 months and VP Guy for the 18. Creep everywhere, 5 bases at this point and Hive on the way for Light. ZombieGrub throws down a couple scans, CCs, too many things that are terrifying on the other side of the map. And it is Light who takes the 1-0 lead after what felt like was a pretty bad start. That's impressive. Legitimately impressive, well done. I think dropping that creep over and over and over again is just mega frustrating. Yeah. First it felt like, okay, that's gonna cause a little bit of a delay on the third. Then it was like, okay, this is becoming a proper delay on the third. And eventually the third just never got going. Well done. Legitimately well done. And sometimes stream elements, guys, when somebody gives 5 subs, instead of it just playing the animation of like, hey, here's 5 subs, it's like, let's play the animation 5, 6, 7 times over for every single individual out there. Now, they're all appreciated and they all deserve their moment in the limelight, but these sound effects, they get the best of me. You like seeing your name 5 times. You are appreciated, mate, but I think you know that. Yeah, it's really frustrating, Bully. Like, obviously, it shouldn't be, right? Because it's like, yay, subs, we love subs. Of course, we always do. But there's a reason why there's an animation for 5 gifted subs. It's not supposed to play the one thing once. I've been saying for a long time, I really want to get familiar with the Twitch alert box. So you no longer have to use like stream elements or stream labs. And you can just keep everything in one place. But I tried messing around with it once and I was like, oh, I'm just not good at this stuff. Eventually, I'll find an expert in the Twitch alerts, and then we just use Twitch alerts and keep life simple. But I don't know when that will be. Magnetha, the map named after the Egyptian Protoss Magnath. My favorite map of the new map pool. I'll go out there and say it. I love Meganathan.
Round 2. Fight!
Here we go. Taking the 1-0 lead with some really cool drop a Lord Queen creep everywhere play. It's the Australian Zerg always fighting for the cranky ducklings. This man covers every single game there is out there to cover. It is light. This map is legit a banger TVZ map. I like it for Protoss too, mate. So, I like it for PvP. I had a great clip of a PvP on this map that could have netted me thousands of views. Instead, my own moderator decides to download the clip and then mirror it to something that is not my page to then get thousands of views. I still like the map. This, top left side, it's the American Terran, ZombieGrub, down 0-1. Still sticking with Terran. We can turn things around. I don't think there's any real reason for ZG to panic. ZG did say that he hasn't played crazy much Starcraft lately. Anybody that follows ZombieGrub on Twitch have probably seen her play a lot of Deadlock. A while ago we had 1 or 2 Deadlock sessions with a lot of Starcraft folks. Like Wardy played it with us, Loco played it, the Muslim obviously, ZG, me, and Kalaris. I say out of those, ZG is probably the one right now together with me that still plays the most. I think Kalaris has been very busy with his wedding and obviously doing PUBG stuff. Ben, Demo, doesn't play a whole lot at the moment. Wardy didn't really get into it. He thought it wasn't that good. He prefers Marvel Rivals. And Loco was actually pretty good in the game, but he also didn't stick with it. Loco likes his slow single player games or painting Warhammer figures. So ZG is the one that, as he was a bit critical of the game at first when we were playing. She was like, I don't get it. What's so fun? What's so fun? But now months later, I can still see that he's playing a lot, so he's obviously enjoying it. And I think we could see that a little bit in the first game here against Light. That some of her mechanics were a little bit off. Like, I've seen her be better and quicker and more careful with her units in the past. But it's just the first game of the series. A lot of Starcraft left to be played, and I believe in ZG to turn this one around. I saw this Reddit thread, bully. Where it's like, Protoss is still the lagging race on the League Leg. Can we get another patch before EWC? I was like, oh my god. Do I actually want to get into the comment section here? This is not going to be pretty, is it? Nice job here by Light, by the way. This time the 2 Zerglings did show up in time and actually picked up the SCV. So it caused a minor delay on the natural expand of ZombieGrub finishing up. That's going to slow down our economy for a little while. Must be an interesting thread, yeah. I also saw the thread of Ruff. It's like, oh. oh. Our man Harstem, the king, just catching some strays over here. How fun would it be if SOS wins? You're talking EWC now. I think the odds of that are incredibly low. I think if he qualifies, that would already be mega impressive. Like, StarCraft may not be like as popular as it was many years ago, and there may not be as many like top and semi-top pro players pushing each other to the limit. But to break into the top 16 of the world, I think it's as hard as it's ever been. So if SOS is able to do that, and I know he qualified for GSL, but that's not enough to be top 16 in the world. But if he qualifies for EWC, I would already say that is mega impressive, and that's a really big success. I don't even want to repeat it, Grimk. It's among the lines of Harstem is buffing Protoss because he can't win without doing it. That's like, it's a wild take, mate. It's a very wild take. And I do understand some of the frustrations, by the way, of the Terran players. And I also understand frustrations of a lot of like full-time, semi or like part-time StarCraft streamers that have been doing it for a long time. Like, I get it. I give them a lot of leeway where I don't hold like a poor stream or somebody acting out of line a little bit against them forever. But obviously that was not right. Austin, I think, is a very sweet dude. And anything that he has ever done in regards to the Balance Council, I am 100% positive that all of the choices that he made or all of the things that he suggested are for the well-interest, well-being of this game. And never, ever, ever with the idea of like, yes, no, I can win some games. Like, I am 100... I would put my hand in fire for that. That Hearthstone only means well for StarCraft. Because in the end, Hearthstone benefits a whole lot more from StarCraft being good and popular and loved, rather than him maybe winning a tournament game. Like, the content section is doing great, right, for Hearthstone. So the better that StarCraft will do for a long time, the better it will be for Hearthstone. That's going to be a lot more important than winning a tournament game here or there. Light VIP once more with the Drop Lord and a couple of queens is going to be annoying. ZombieGrub obviously lost that Banshee in the last game. That was incredibly frustrating. This time he's opening things up with a Battle Cruiser, but the BC is not quite out yet. Once the BC is out, at least the BC can attack that Drop Lord. The BCs are not very quick. The aliens are derping a little bit. It's a bit of a disaster here, guys, for ZombieGrub. A light VIP with his 2-base roach opening. He does have a third now. Obviously, do we have cloak this time? I don't think we do right now. We need that BC. The BC will win the fight. Economically, this is already... It's hurting ZombieGrub. And an even bigger problem, I feel like, is ZombieGrub just has no army supply. And you would think with this many roaches and queens on this side of the map, there should have been potential for ZombieGrub or Hellions to be incredibly successful on the other side, but the Hellions were derping a little bit in the center of the map. And the Battlecruiser is even taking damage. We can absolutely... No, we should have raised those depots. I know that the depots probably would have died. This is going to be very painful, guys, for ZombieGrub. Our second BC is not out yet. The SCVs are stuck. And our American Terran that started off having a pretty healthy supply lead when the first roaches and queens showed it up, or at least worker lead, is now already down 20 workers, and we are not done yet. There are more roaches in the natural. The queens are still doing their thing. Second BC though is about to come out. Can 2 BCs clean this up, jump to the other side of the map, and potentially deal game-ending damage? Is there a world? Well, they need to be healthy, and ideally they need to have Yamato. They do have Yamato. ZG in all sorts of trouble with only 5 SCVs. I mean, triple orbital is great and all. I'd say right now, yeah, maybe you throw down a scan, you look for the spire, you repair your battle cruiser, you jump to the other side of the map and you pray. Wow, poor ZG. 44 SCVs going down to the roaches and the queens. This time the Dropper Lord will be spotted, will get picked up. At least it should have been picked up. Yeah, Light is rich enough that it can easily build 10, 15 Corruptors. They can just right click on the battle cruisers. ZG is going to jump one of her BCs though to the other side of the map, but there is a Giga Chat Spore, there is a Queen. These spores, they pack such a big punch. Well, this game now looks even worse than the first game where ZombieGrub decided to leave after throwing down the scans in the main. It almost feels that the most unfortunate thing were the Hellions here, right? Like the Hellions were here, they went back, they went here again, they went through the roaches a couple of times. They absorbed so many shots without really getting anything done, but in a theoretical world, maybe they could have killed a bunch of drones and then Light would have been even more committed, maybe be a bit more stressed. Or the Hellions could have turned around, morph into Hellbats, and just be a bit of a buffer trying to protect the SCVs, even though we don't have an armory by the looks of it. Frustrating. Frustrating best of 5 so far for ZombieGrub. Light has done his homework and he is so ready to battle some mech. I'm afraid at this point this is not much of a game. The roach opening obviously very economic. It's a nice touch with the Dropper Lord putting a couple of queens inside of it and just being annoying right off the get-go. Starting to spread creep on the low ground, in the main, in the natural. I'm very worried here for ZombieGrub. I don't think... I mean, he's back up to 25 SCVs now. It's decent. We have a couple Wither Mines, but Light is in a magnificent position. Hello Zergling. Double hello there. Can these Hellions find something, guys? I'm afraid the answer is no. There are a lot of Zerglings here. There are Corruptors above the Lings. There are Roaches. Now, obviously, the Corruptors won't help out. But what the Corruptors will do is once more alert ZombieGrub that they are out there. No matter how much you are hyping this, I'm not really hyping it. I'm just saying what I think it is, mate. I don't think I said at any given moment in the last 2 or 3 minutes that I think ZombieGrub is gonna claw her way back into this. Obviously, as long as ZG is trying, mate, I'm going to respect that. But I don't think I'm hyping it up under the idea of... I think ZombieGrub is about to turn this one around. I don't really see a way for ZG to turn this around. Going all the way down to 5 SCVs, that's just a little too much. If it would have been like 18 to 20 SCVs, I legitimately would have believed. Then I always believed that Turtle Mech can turn things around. Couple Widow Mines, couple tanks, couple BCs. But going down to 5 SCVs, I think is mission impossible. I think ZG knows it as well, but he obviously just wants to try and see if he can make something of this game. Sometimes, guys, if you do have Widow Mines and tanks, your opponents can make the worst attacks ever, where they become mega indecisive, right? They get in range, out of range, in range, out of range. Yeah, it would take a next level throw from Light, because I do think that this one is indeed kind of over. I think the last official games that ZombieGrub played were probably in the Big Brain Bout against Spy. CG doesn't really sign up for weekly tournaments. He does still ladder from time to time, which is more than we can say about a couple of the other commentators. And I always enjoy watching ZG play some ladder. But unfortunately, the ladder is just kind of rough these days, right? There is indeed a serious amount of smurfing going on. And yes, there are people who really get a kick out of stream sniping. And it's tough to have a fun time unless you're mega good, where you can just smack all of them around. But ZG does still play a little bit. But there's obviously a difference between playing a couple ladder games for fun, or maybe a custom game against some of your viewers, or really sitting down and locking in for a ladder session for the next 5 hours. Light is gonna try to end it here. ZombieGrub has tried to do the impossible, and that is come back all the way from 5 SCVs. The corruptor count is high. Obviously, the corruptors can eventually just settle for caustic spray on a couple of important buildings. At this point, Light just settles for gunning down the 3rd base once more. Seems that Light plays against Mech the way that I like to play against Mech. And that is 2 bases they can have. There's not a lot we can do about it. But you shall not have a 3rd, sir or ma'am. In this case, we go with the ma'am. And Light's doing a great job in just denying it or delaying it over and over again. ZG loses the 3rd and is now rebuilding the 3rd and the 4th. 10 count is looking sexy, to be fair. I am definitely feeling the 10 tanks here. Does seem like a decent map to eventually. Such a shame ZG is so far behind. This would go down as one of the greatest comebacks in the history of the BBB. If ZombieGrub can find a way to turn this one around. I'm still not a believer. Don't you worry, REDN or whoever it was who called me out. The GigaChat Spore is so powerful too. I always kind of enjoyed the BC openings in the past, but I feel like the BC openings legitimately got nerfed, right, by this Spore Crawler change. Spores are just mega cracked right now. I'm like, yeah, Phoenixes die quick, but even a BC starts dying rather quickly. Light's got a great Aspire on the way. Getting a couple Broodlords is obviously going to be mega against all these tanks. Now, ZombieGrub does have a couple Thors, quite literally a couple at the moment. It's going to be difficult to gun down a whole bunch of Broodlords. Light leads the charge with a couple of links. It's not a very pretty fight by Light. Does land a couple of good corrosive balls there towards the end. Gets a double kill on 2 of the tanks. So I think Light is absolutely crushing. I think Light is winning. But if Light does something bad, the first time that he morphs these 10 Corruptors guys into Broodlords, if there is somehow a way where he does not win the game, he's in serious trouble. I'll tell you that much. But yeah, right now it does kind of feel that the Broodlord should just win this game. Now, Thors can be very good against Broodlords, but it's obviously a numbers game, right? And 3 Thors, when they also have to worry about the Broodlings on the ground, the regular Lings, the Roaches, the Ravages. I think it's incredibly unlikely that 3 or 4 Thors are gonna kill 10 Broodlords. But if you would have told me when ZombieGrub was down all the way to 5 SCVs that this would turn into a 16-minute game, I would have probably laughed and be like, yeah, that seems a bit tough, mate. I know Mech is hard to kill, but once more, the Thors are a little bit exposed. Light has done this incredibly well. He did this on ley lines too, where he kind of lures the Thors away from the main army and then he bounces on it immediately, surrounds them with his tiny lair tech, hatchery tech units, and picks it off. And getting that Thor pickoff is massive. Well done by Light. Not the first time in this series. It's clearly kind of setting that up, right, as a bait. It's a bit of a magnet where it's like, hey. Did Brutes get buffed? Brutes did not get buffed recently. You say 20 Brutes will lose to 1 Thor? Let's see. Let's see, mate. I hope for ZombieGrub, her sake, that you are right. It is 4 Thors. We got 2 Widow Mines in the mix as well, but the mines get revealed by the Overseer. The tanks obviously are going to be forced to unsiege. Alright, can the Thors shine? This is, in a weird way, an important moment for Light. A game that felt Omega over should still be over. Wide open area now. The Broodlords can cook. That is minus 2-3 tanks immediately. Potentially minus all the tanks. Now the extra Lings, Roaches, and the Ravages come in. ZombieGrub was forced to unsiege her tanks. The Thors are derping. Good Broodlord positioning by Light. And after 17 minutes, it is Light, a VIP, who takes the 2-0 lead. Mostly, obviously, because of the opening. Let's be honest. It was the Roach attack, the Roachling attack with the Drop Lord and the Double Queen that put Light on match point here. 2-0. Did not expect that. Honestly, I did not expect it. It ain't over yet. And I feel like if ZG doesn't fall too far behind, he's going to be fine. Because I can definitely see some weaknesses in the way that Light plays against Mech. But so far, the Australian passionate caster is threading a very fine needle and he's getting away with it. Light has prepped some builds, especially this opening. It's a good opening against, I think, Mech in general. It'd be cool if ZombieGrub suddenly gives us some bio here. Let's just 3-Rex ZG. 3-Rex it up. Oh, 3-Rex against Zerg? Are you sure, Roddy? Absolutely. Guy with gun, never bad. Send it. ZombieGrub is ready. Light is ready. We're just waiting on Indy. 2 more best of 5s, obviously, guys, after this one. Come on, ZG. First series of the night went to distance. Let's see if the second one can go to distance as well. Persephone. What a debut for Light. Winning the caster battle over here. It's impressive, but he ain't there yet. Oh, the race switch. I didn't see it. He was listed as Terran as first, but down 0-2 with our back up against the wall. We have switched, baby. The ZG toss. I think this is the first time in history that I'm going to cast the ZombieGrub her Protoss. Let's do it. Vamos.
Round 3. Fight.
Did he see the switch? I don't know. I didn't see it until I saw Nexus, so maybe, I don't know. In the bottom left side, we're looking at the main base of our American caster. Down 0-2, but we're still in it. And now we're playing with the aliens, baby. The aliens have never failed us recently. This is ZombieGrub. Big fan, big fan. Top left side, also big fan of this very passionate individual. Hailing from Australia, it is the Cranky Duckling's very own, a Light VIP. We'll go with just Light. If Light didn't see it before, he definitely sees it now. Because this would be an incredibly strange looking SCV, guys. Oh! Well, he realized now. At first he didn't realize yet. He's like, man, that's an odd looking SCV. I thought Blizzard stopped developing skins. That SCV skin hits different. Ooh! Oh! Do you feel it? Do you feel it, guys? I feel it. Feisty! I love it. I love feisty ZG. She's the best. Oh, big fan. I love it. Dave Testa set the stage, and ZG just continues to perform on that stage. This is all you, Dave. This is all you. Oh, I love gamers, guys. I love gamers. Well, obviously you gotta be careful. When you start saying those things, they may just make a lot of Zerglings early on. Light is, Oh? ZG did not see that. ZG, her probe did not manage to see that. Maybe a tiny bit worried. All the opening here. Hatchery has spotted the wall off. Obviously a lot of extra larvae to work with. The first high-level Zerg player I saw do this for a while. Obviously, Cats, I think, is known for this kind of stuff. But Vibe actually used to do it quite often, too. And Cats was good, but Vibe, of course, even better. And it was honestly pretty difficult to play against. Because I'd be so happy with killing a couple of drones and then I'd lose my initial adepts. But then because he had so many hatcheries, he had so many additional workers spawning very quickly, that all of my regular timings were out of the window. ZG needs to be very careful, because if he loses this adepts, he may get very paranoid that this is indeed another all-in. Somehow misses it. I think this will be a pretty useful scout. Like, not seeing any drones mining gas here is mega. This is basically what you're really looking for. In case some of you guys may not be that familiar with Starcraft or you don't play too much, the most important thing that you look for here with your adept is, yeah, of course, if you see a Roachborn or a Baleen Nest, you're going to be very happy. If you can't see that, what you do want to see is how much gas has been mined. Now, it could still technically be a link flood, but those are not too scary. This is very weird, by the way, with the old school traditional cybernetic score, but then the gateways with a skin. This looks, and the pylon has a skin. It's a cool looking pylon, to be fair. Kind of looks like it's overdue, but... Remember Vibe mostly for how he could hit 500 APM to my gold league brain. That was literally the coolest thing ever. We have an Oracle, by the way, flying on the other side of the map. ZombieGrub needs to be very careful, and she is. Honestly, I think the takeaway, the standout achievement for Vibe was winning the American regionals back then. That was legitimately a big build-up, a lot of qualifiers, and it all came down to a big offline event. I don't know what first place was, but like 20k or something. And Vibe officially crowned himself American champ. Maybe year 2012, if I recall correctly. And obviously Starcraft was big back then in the US, so I think that's a massive achievement for Vibe. Yep, Idra was playing in that, and a lot of people thought Idra was going to win. There were a crazy amount of Zergs, like Ghost User I think was playing back then as well. He was very good. Vibe won it all. Yeah, Vibe is really good in Mechabellum, mate. He's way better than me. I'm getting better, but I'm nowhere near as good as Vibe. So what is ZombieGrub doing here, guys? We've got a couple Oracles. We've got now a Phoenix on the way. We had, I think, Zealot Charge on the way for a split second, but we cancelled it for Blink. ZG has now officially played Oracle into Blink more in her life than I have. But Roddy, don't you play Phoenix? Or don't you play Total? Yeah, I did. I looked at this build. I was like, yeah, that's not for me. Hello, Faded. I think that was the first tournament ever, StatFest, where at one point I was like, man, I'm starting to cast the same games. Because back then Starcraft was obviously not figured out at all. And yeah, there were a lot of different viable strategies. And they were all viable because people were bad and people didn't know how to close out games. Or didn't really know how to finish things properly, or what is the most efficient way. But in that specific US championship, there were so many Zergs, and then the Zergs did kind of agree that you open up with Zergling speed, you make a couple links, then you make 3 safety banks, and after that you drone up and you make roaches. And I think I casted the exact same ZVZ like 20 times in that event. And I loved it, and I loved casting every single game of StarCraft, but at one point I was like, man, it's not a Daybreak ZVZ. or whatever that purple map was, bottom left, top right, and I was like, all these games are the same. And that was very unheard of for that day and age of StarCraft 2. ZombieGrub is going to get a second robe and a robe of A very early, just in case there is a roach all-in coming her way. But at this point, like Light VIP, not really all-inning at all. He is just building a little bit of everything. He's got a Spire on the way, so he's potentially thinking of some Mutalisk play. But honestly, ZG, her setup, ZG, her Protoss looks clean, by the way, so far. This is legitimately impressive. Can't say a bad word about it. Keeping Light on 3 bases. We've got a couple of leftover adepts from the early game going on a journey. Kill the hatch. That could be a kill. That is a kill. No cancel. ZombieGrub snipes the hatch. It's a perfect game so far. 0-2 with her main race Terran, but the moment she picked Protoss, it is a perfect game. What is this? Has Hero moved over to Colorado? What the hell is happening? ZombieGrub is not losing a unit with her off race after going down 0-2 with her main race. So how will you defend this, Roddy? I won't, actually, guys. Protoss is busted. What can I say? I'm done. I've got nothing. Couple of adepts will finally be the first units that Light VIP can pick up. ZombieGrub did make a little mistake here. The target fire obviously could have been better, but seems like ZG is not too worried about these adepts. What ZG is worried about is the Stalker pressure. Is getting value out of the Oracles. And the only thing that ZombieGrub really needs to do right now, guys, is build a couple Phoenix. Can she win it without Phoenix? Yes, but you do need to know there is a Spire. If 10 Mutas show up in your main and you're just not ready at all, it becomes painful. Now there is a chance that ZombieGrub might just try to end the game with her Blink Stalkers and Colossus, if that is the case. Mutas are gonna go to the bottom right side. ZG, your life would be so easy with a couple Phoenix. That is a very funny cannon. That's a weird cannon, guys. Oh, look at this! ZG 240 IQ. Cannon! Bam! Immediately in range of the Mutas. Take that, Roddy. It's like, I've got nothing. Sick cannon. Are we gonna go for a defensive Stalker warp in, or we're just gonna try to end it? Mutas are in the main. ZG warps in 3 Stalkers. That's not quite enough, I think, to battle this many Mutalisks. Unless they're near a battery. Zealots in the top right, so close to killing the hatch, but this fight should be good for ZombieGrub. As long as ZG keeps on blinking, keeps on microing, this should be excellent for her. Light, his Mutas are cooking, gotta give it to him. That is a lot of damage from just a couple of Mutalisks. The Roach reinforcements are gonna come out in very high numbers. This is where ZG needs to be very careful, because this many Roaches is hard to chew through with this many Stalkers. And ZG doesn't have that much money anymore. The cannon! The absolute hero cannon! Still going to town on the Mutas. 3 kills on this cannon. That's 3 more than the line I would have said. Light now drops a Lurker then. Honestly, I'm not sure if that's the play. I think it's going to take a long time before you can really get Lurkers out, and they will never have the sexy Hive-Tech upgrades. Roach is in the center of the map looking to intercept a couple of these reinforcements. ZombieGrub does blink. Stasis Trappy on the high ground. Stasis Trap could be good. It's only a couple of Zerglings, unfortunately. I think if ZG keeps kiting here, keeps warping in a couple of units, this could be decent, but the War Prism gets sniped. That is a 10 out of 10 War Prism snipe on the side of Light, and that may actually allow him to win this fight. The Oracles were just kind of floating in the air, not doing a whole lot. Oh my goodness, Light snipes the Oracle with a lot of energy as well. The Ravagers of Light are built different. Amazing fight there by Light, way better than what it should have been. Kills the Prism, kills the Colossus, even kills an Oracle. That is as good as it's going to get, but the Zealots of ZombieGrub have successfully sniped the 4th base. That is massive. That is massive. I mean, I think ZG is still fine. Like, don't forget it. No, actually. We need to spend our money. We need to spend our money and maybe build like an Immortal. A couple of sentries is the play. ZG has time on her side. If she can just live, a couple of cannons. Colossus, fight! What is this Colossus doing? We still have a safety cannon. Safety cannon might help. I like the Archons a lot. Archons are tanky. They're not quite done yet. ZombieGrub needs to blink real quick. That's exactly what she does. The Lynx have actually taken out the cannon, so that's a bit annoying. And now we've got double Colossus and Archons. I think ZG can hold this, especially if we micro And ZombieGrub micros like the very best out there. Maybe an energy recharge, that would be goated. Nice micro on the Colossus. ZombieGrub says, how do you like them apples? Oh my god, we're gaming so hard on this Friday night, guys. We are gaming so incredibly hard. ZG is floating a little bit of money right now, a bit more than she should. Maybe that's because the Lynx got into the main base, picked off the probes, so she has less gas income. Probably doesn't want to build too many zealots, even though it wouldn't be too bad. ZG with her Protoss. It wasn't a mega smooth ride. We definitely had some turbulence along the way. But it's looking really good here in game 3. Oh, 6 lurkers though. But don't forget, guys, these are lair tech lurkers. No seismic spines, no adaptive talents. Doesn't mean they're always going to be bad, but it shouldn't be too hard to outmaneuver these. Or obviously just like dance in and out of range, like Stalkers, Colossus, basically get in range, shoot at one, disengage. Yeah, it's lair tech lurkers are only good if the Protoss truly allows them to be good. I am not afraid to admit that I've lost a fight or two in my life because of lair tech lurkers. But I am man enough to admit that was on me. That has very little to do with the power of the lurker. It has more to do with me. This game does become scary again though if Light does manage to get all the way up to Hive. Oh, come on ZG, like sneak a Warp Prism into the main or something. The main is wide open, the third is wide open, the fourth or fifth, whatever. Like this is I guess now the fourth. ZG, 2 Colossus exposed. Can we move them back? There are stasis trappies, some Stormy boys. Storm. No, we're just running. I guess that is a play against lurkers. We do drop 1 Storm. This is where we need to get that Dave Testa spellcasting. +3 is about to finish up. Forward, blink by ZombieGrub, snipes 1 lurker, almost gets the second one. These zealots could click on the hatch. We're looking for storms. The ZombieGrub is looking for a storm. Morphs it into an Archon as well. That's good. Do we have observers? Yes. 2 of them. CG right now is falling into the bully trap. I'm a very strong believer that my man Bully would gain 600 MMR overnight if he starts building more gates. Actually, ZombieGrub did add 6 more gates, so she's no longer at 7 or 9. She's got 13 now. And that is obviously a lot better. When you're on 4 bases and you've got a lot of upgrades and you've got a lot of production facilities, don't be stuck on like 8 or 9 gateways. You're just making your life so much harder. Light, by the way, casually trying to sneak out a couple of Vipers. The ZombieGrubber Zealots are going to town on the drones here. ZG's kind of cooking though. Now we just need to win 1 fight against the lurkers. Can we do it? Can we send it? ZG all the way. ZG is just gonna send it. Vipers are looking for energy. They're not gonna get any energy. The Warp Prism is very far forward, but it doesn't matter. The lurker shots and the Stalkers are massive. But ZombieGrub has a lot of money. What is this? Nothing. Gonna warp in a couple of Stalkers. Need to be careful though, guys. The Stalkers did eat a lot of lurker shots there. Now Seismic Spines is done. Either Pi or anybody, can you guys snooze the ads? We've got 4 minutes, guys. Any of my moderators, can you please snooze the ads? So they don't play in the middle of the game. That would be much appreciated. Yeah, Healing Strain is a play. A couple of very tiny abducts, but they are abducts regardless. Colossus explodes. First one dies. Second one, mega low on HP, does not die. ZG is so rich. I feel like ZG has Light on wobbly legs, but Light just refuses to get knocked out. And any high-tech Zerg with a bunch of lurkers can be a bit scary against ground toss. But ZombieGrub, her macro has legitimately been damn sexy. I can't put it any other way. Non-stop pro production, taking a lot of bases, working on her upgrades. ZG, her Protoss is good. ZombieGrub is legitimately a damn good Protoss. Zealot run by, slicing up a couple lurkers. Because now our main army is going to get in range of the original third base. Few lurkers trailing a little bit. ZombieGrub is going to try to save them. Does save them. I said lurkers, I meant immortals. Doesn't matter. This should be it. After 17 minutes of gaming on Persephone, if ZG sneaks that prism into the main base and warp in 10 zealots, I think it's over. If Light runs into this Protoss army, I also think it's over. It does land on a duck. ZombieGrub lands a feedback. A couple of Zerglings. These lings aren't really all that scary. +1 melee Zerglings, no Adreno glands. 17-minute game. It ain't all that scary. The lurker count is dwindling. And ZombieGrub couldn't do it with her main race. But just like Clem, she switches to Protoss and she gets one on the board. ZG her Protoss. Honestly, she played good as well. I can't knock it at all. And legitimately a pretty good performance. And a lot of things were excellent. Sure, maybe the Mutalisk defense could have been a tiny bit better, but it's really hard to be active with Stalkers and Oracles and then defend against Mutas. Maybe that one fight with the Colossus and the Prism and the Oracle could have gone a tiny bit better, but outside of that, I actually think ZombieGrub played legitimately a strong game. Oh, 0-2 with her main race. Gets one on the board with her Protoss. More Protoss game 4. Guys, I'll take a very tiny break and then I'll be back. We need to run ads. Once an hour, I need to run some ads. And that hour has gone by and I don't want to run them in the middle of the game. So we'll do it now. I'll see you guys in 2 minutes. Game 4, ZombieGrub versus Light coming up. Thank you, Zero Ammo, for the Prime. I appreciate it, matey. Hopefully everyone is enjoying the game so far. Tonight, 2 community series and 2 proper high-level series. Even though the last one is a little bit of a community aspect as well. But Game 4, guys. ZombieGrub versus a Light. It's been a fun series so far. I've enjoyed it. Once more, we're going with Protoss. How do you defend it? You don't. You just lean back and enjoy it.
Round 4. Fight!
Top right side of Tokamak. We are looking at the main base of our one and only American Terran, no Protoss, ZombieGrub, RZG. I haven't seen ZG in a long time. When is the last? This has been the Esports World Cup, the last time I saw ZG. Hope to see her again soon, but I know that will happen. Bottom left side of Tokamak, we are looking at the main base of the man that I did meet as he came over to IEM Katowice a couple of years ago. It was very fun to meet him in real life for the first time. It is a Light from the Cranky Ducklings. Home Story Cup? The most recent Home Story Cup? Oh, no, Home Story Cup after EWC. ZG came, right? Yeah. That is correct. Still a long time ago. Yeah, sorry. When the last Home Story Cup was like a couple weeks after. That was in November. November, December. Okay. Still though. Half a year. Too long. I miss ZG. Another hatchery as part of the wall for Light. Basically a Gasel's opening at first with a relatively late extractor. I'm gonna rally a bunch of Zerglings to the other side of the map. Might have to build a Zealot here. Yeah, I think building a Zealot here is not a bad choice. Might even want to get an early second pile. And don't tell me that we have another series ending to a bunch of slow links. It's only 6 though, so I think 6 links the game should never end. Like Pi does something like this, but he does it with like 14 links. And then the game can end. Please don't tell me that the pylon dies before the Zealot is out. Chrono. Ah, okay, the Zealot will come out, but the Zealot does not win the fight against 6 Zerglings. Oh no. The Zealot does not win the fight against 6 links, but with this many probes to camp, we need a new pylon, ZombieGrub. We immediately need a new pylon. We are gonna get a new pylon. It's a lot of lost mining time though, that is painful. There is a chance that ZombieGrub will make it to this Home Story Cup though, Bully. I'm not sure, but they're gonna have to find a replacement for me, right? And who could better replace me than ZombieGrub? Oh, there's a chance. I don't know. It's up to the guys from Take TV, but if I were them, I would go with ZG. This is indeed a mega start for Light, especially because now ZG has actually walled herself in. And that is very annoying too. Now we at least have 1 probe on the other side. But it's a crazy amount of damage, guys, for just 6 Zerglings. This is painful. No, I'm gonna be there, Steadfast. I'll definitely be there. I've already booked my hotel. ZG, her probe. I would honestly, guys, I would hide this probe. Because if you have walled yourself in, it's very annoying and it's difficult and it's tricky to go up to 3 bases. So I would use the 1 probe that's on the other side of the wall to warp in a nexus somewhere. Maybe even a hidden nexus. This is a big enough map to justify a hidden nexus. could maybe go for like a 2-base Phoenix Zealot all-in if you're walled in, but it's so predictable. It's like impossible to hide almost. I also think Phoenix Zealot all-in is only really good with a Forge and getting +1. No, absolutely not pencil. Like those flights are not something that I would book myself. That's normally something that ESL books. If ESL is the one who asks you. Now we're gonna unpower our gate, by the way, guys. By killing this pylon, we unpower our gateway. It's a little bit annoying too. But those flights always get booked by the tournament organizer. Wow, that's an early dark strike. Not quite Phoenix DT, but a Phoenix Void Raider DT. ZombieGrub per Protoss looked rock solid in game 3. Like that really looked a lot like how the professional Protoss players play Protoss. And it's a difficult style to execute, but I think ZG did it incredibly well. Here in game 4, it looks a little bit more like a Terran playing Protoss that maybe doesn't have a crazy amount of experience with us. I'm not sure if this Phoenix really wants to commit for this Overlord. No, we don't want to take all that damage. Like if ZG just goes for Zealot Charge here, I don't think that would be bad, but I would strongly recommend getting a Forge for +1. Both players are, as always, as it should be in the Big Brain Bouts, somewhat close to each other in skill. So they're both around 4,400 MMR, give or take. Now Athena, 0% chance. Dallas is 0. Before it was incredibly unlikely, now it's 0%. I will literally still be in Korea by the time that Dallas is happening, so... Not possible. But I might be able to cast some games. If ESL lets me, if they're okay with me missing the first day, but casting day 2 and day 3 from home, then we can maybe do that. I'll hear from them soon. Historia special Saturday 8-bit toss build. I mean, I like Phoenix Zealot against Zerg. I like Phoenix DT. But I wouldn't quite play it like this. So one pylon for its slow warp-ins on this side of the map. 3 DTs. I don't want to commit. They would have won the fight against the Queens, but yeah, the scary thing is you don't know where the Zerglings are. And if the Zerglings show up too quick and they surround your DTs, you fall even further behind. This is, by the way, been the game that Light has had the best macro in so far. All the way up to 61 drones. And a lot of the other games, it kind of felt like some drones, some units, some drones, some units. This time it's not quite all out macro, and it was obviously a bit of a funky opening with the slow Zerglings, but economically he's looking alright in this game. Sport roller count is 4. 1 per base and then 1 in the middle of all the bases. It's gonna be very hard, I think, for ZombieGrub to win a fight against Roach Hydra. Like, if Light does from here on out, let's say you do nothing other than build Roaches and Hydras, and you just attack when your Hydra upgrades are done and your Roach speed upgrade is done, maybe +1 missile attacks, I think it is incredibly difficult to hold for ZombieGrub. Even though ZG is getting Quick Storm, and Storm is obviously mega, but most of the time what is going to happen is that the Zerg is going to attack you with like 110, 120 army supply, and you're going to have like 50 as a Protoss. And then no matter how good your storms are, it is really hard to overcome such a big supply deficit. But if Light waits for a long time, and he gives ZombieGrub time to get a lot of extra gates online, maybe a couple of Immortals, then ZG could absolutely stabilize and find herself in a good spot later on. Not sure yet. Let's see how Light is going to play it out. Does find one of the pylons the ZombieGrub used to warp in a few DTs. Thank you so much to Teat Rock for the 5 gifted subbies. BBB dude. Is that a tribute to the Big Brain Bouts, mate? Of course he had to get 1 sub. Light is gonna fire up the Hive, guys. Hive and then RotterdaM. I mean, it's obviously not a bad choice, don't get me wrong, but I do feel like it opens the doors for a potential comeback. Well, with how good the start was with the slow Zerglings, I think if you would have just followed this up with a devastating Roach Hydra timing attack, all in, call it how you want it, cheese for all I care, I think it would have been impossible for ZG to defend. Mr. Roddy, no it's not, but you're not the first to mention it. It's okay, man. You're here. You have BBB in your name and you're here, so I think that's already beautiful. Your account is probably older than BBB, right? First BBB was probably organized like a little over 2 years ago. We've done 95 editions. But obviously not every Friday we've always been able to run one. I've gone to some offline events, and once in a while there were some big ESL qualifiers that overlapped. But let's say 95 out of the potential 125, 130 weeks or so. Big booty brutalists. I'd sign up to that. 9 lurkers morphing on the side of light. He's got seismic spines on the way. This time he is getting adrenal glands. This is an upgrade he never got in the previous game, but in his defense, in the previous game, he was always kind of broke. Because Light has spent a lot of money on... So Moreno's asking, how did the Protoss catch up on supply so much? What has the Zerg been doing in the past 3 minutes? That's kind of the thing. The Zerg has been doing a bit of everything. Some units, some drones, some units, some drones, some tech, some static defenses, some bases. So, you know, it's still a supply lead, but obviously it won't be as big forever. The Protoss will obviously increase in supply too. Light has spent a lot of money on upgrades and production facilities. He's gonna be scary. He's ahead in upgrades too. Like that is obviously a very good thing. Zerg is not very often ahead in upgrades in this matchup. Hello? This Void Ray is a very merciful god. Until it changed his mind, it snapped. That is a nice little freebie for ZombieGrub. Do I still have the hat-trick?
Hat-trick.
Void has 7 kills, by the way. So many. We do have a War Prism in the bottom, and Light has a couple of Spines, but Spines obviously not that great against 1-1 Zealots. It's now moving 121 Zerg supply back for a split second, changes his mind. Will ZombieGrub unload? Yes, these are not Zealots, these are DTs. That is, by the way, very expensive though. Oh, ZG. 4 DTs like this. Expensive. They're both floating. ZombieGrub is working with a couple of extra Stargates. Fleet Beacon about to come online. In a straight up fight, though, ZG is going to struggle against the Lurkers. We have 18 Lurkers. I did recently see a game of Raynor, where Raynor, I think, had 28 Lurkers, and he still got obliterated by Immortals and Archons. I'm sure you guys can imagine the little sarcastic laughter of Raynor. Something like that. It's like a laughter full of pain, you know, when 28 Lurkers disappear. 2 Archons and Immortals. Ah, what am I supposed to do? Ah! Something like that, you know. ZombieGrub finds maybe a little opening. The Lynx could go for it. The Lynx are looking for a surround. They are going to get a surround. ZG needs to storm. Storm like your Dave Testa in your prime. The storms have been decent, but in the end, this is still a very good fight by Light VIP. He was decisive. He knew what he wanted there. Now, ZombieGrub, her Zealots are going to town on this base in the bottom right side. That's a Spore dying. That's a Hatchery dying. Light has a lot of money, but I do think that ZG is about to get an army that is going to be omega terrifying and is going to be incredibly difficult for Australian Zerg to defeat. He's got to be aware of that too. I think he is aware of it, and because of that, he's going to go for it now. But he barely has any anti-air. We've got 3 Hydras, guys, as anti-air. So he will get this base, and in that way, it's obviously a good move out. But you don't want to lose everything. ZG, her Void Ray, could literally kill the 3 Hydras. CG can't recall these probes because he already used recall on that main army that was still stuck on the left side. Hydra count goes from 3 up to 11 soon, but we've got 3 carriers out, 4th carrier on the way. We had a couple Vipers in the last game. This would be an excellent moment for Light to build another Viper or 2. This is not a fight that Light wins. At this point, not enough anti-air. And he's stepping in the storm as well. Maybe you can get the Nexus, but that should really be it. ZombieGrub has lost 19 probes there. That is problematic. I think we kind of lack detection. Interceptor count is dwindling, and the Lurkers are tanky. The Hydras actually having a field day against these Interceptors. Banelings are on the left side of the probes. They could have gone for it. Instead, they go for the Immortal. Is it Light, a VIP after all then? Can he do it here already? Interceptor count is very low. And the upgrade, carriers without upgrades are so underwhelming. And these Hydras don't even have any armor upgrades. There's no carapace whatsoever. One carrier is mega low on HP. I mean, the carriers will win for now. This was very painful for ZG. Losing the right side base is one thing, but losing this one as well. Losing 22 workers to go along with it. Now, he did have some money in the bank, and we do at least have one more very fresh base. This Void Ray's got some stories to tell. When I was young, there was a game on Tokamak, and I was just chilling in the top left side. There was chaos everywhere. There was war, Zerglings getting on top of Protoss armies, but that was not for me. I had one job and one job only, and that is gun down every single Overlord that is in my sight. And I was damn good at it. Give this Void Ray a purple heart if ZombieGrub does win this game. +1 air weapons done now for the carrier, so that's going to make them a little bit better. If +2 finishes up and Light would attack with 0 carapace upgrades and we don't have like microbio shroud or Vipers, carriers could potentially look as good as they once upon a time did. The Void Ray has 9 kills, 8 kills at the moment. Nexus gets cancelled immediately. A lot of probes are in danger. ZombieGrub, her supply is just plummeting. And at this point, it's not growing anywhere near as quick as Light VIP's supply. How many storms? Only 1. We're going to warp in 2 more High Templars. Can we land a big fat storm? Cybercore, I think, is going to get picked off. And that means +2 air weapons will get denied. It seems that this best of 5 will go to the Australian Zerg, who's making his debut. Apparently learned from the VOD that Pi had. ZombieGrub with the Miss Rally. One of the carriers dies immediately. The Hydras are going to go for it. Interceptor count somewhat low. We do have storms. I don't think this is doable for ZombieGrub. It's just not sustainable. At this point, he's not rich enough to lose this many probes. High Templars, Interceptors over and over again. It's been a long series, guys. We are 31 minutes past 8. That was the time that Hero Marine against John Yakov was supposed to start. It does seem like it's going to go in favor of Light. The Australian Zerg will win $80 provided by Basilisk. This time ZombieGrub will still get 20 for playing, but no W. It was a very clean game 3 with our Protoss. Game 4 was just thrown off a little bit by the start, and it was always awkward from there on out. He was never in the driver's seat. And Light, I think, displayed better macro this game than he did in any of the other games that we saw. I think that really helped him, otherwise this could have been close. But the GG will get called, and after 18 minutes, it is Light. 80 buckies will go to the man from the Cranky Ducklings. Well done. Well done, guys. Alright, I'm going to swap over to the European server immediately, because I am sure that my Hero Marine already said he doesn't care when he plays. Gabe is always very chill for the Big Brain Bouts. He said, I don't care, I don't need to be main event. You can even put me in the first match. I don't care. I was like, well, that would make a lot of the lower MMR players very sad if I use you as the first. But Gabe said the earlier the better. Why, Roddy? I don't know. Maybe Gabe is going to tear up Zilpische Straße tonight. I wouldn't be surprised. I don't put it past him. I don't know what the plans are. GG's Light. Congrats, mate. Congrats on the 80 buckies. Well done. Time for the biggest of games. Yeah, this next series, guys, MMR-wise, is probably going to be the most competitive one. At least the highest skilled one of the night. This one was very close in the prediction game, but you guys believed in Light, and he delivered. Well done. Alright, Hero Marine. The man said, the earlier the better. Versus Young Yakov, the hot up-and-coming Zerg in the European scene. It's the best of 5, BBB, co-main, number 95. Winner gets $100 for this. The loser gets 25 for a single series. Do you guys believe in Hero Marine, a German Terran? Or do you guys believe in Upset City? Because he is coming in as the underdog. Young Yakov, the Russian Zerg. Mega motivated right now. Always eager to play. Basically, he told me, Roddy, give me anyone. Now, I could have been like, all right, Clem hasn't played in a while. You want to play Clem? But I didn't do that. I didn't want to be that guy. He said, give me anyone. I said, all right. A serious step up? He said, yes. I was like, how about Gabe? He said, I love it. So I love a confident man. I'll take a little 2-minute break for myself, guys, because there was a lot of yapping in that series. We've been busy for 2.5 hours. A 3-2 and a 3-1. Long games. I'm excited for this one. I know, if this would have been a year ago, everyone would be like, what the fuck, Roddy? Like, is this even a series? But young Yakov really is damn good at the moment. He plays a lot. He's super motivated. Enjoy me his eyes. He's a top 3 Zerg in the European scene. That goes a little far for me. I think at this point, I put him at number 4. Obviously, I think Cyril, Rainer, and Lambo are better, but since Elaser is playing so much Age of Empires, I can see a world where young Yakov is now a little bit better than Elaser. I don't know if that's true or not, but I can go with 4, definitely top 5. Top 3, I think, is pushing it. But if Yakov shows up tonight and he smashes Gape around, then we can start a serious discussion about him being one of the best 3 Zergs in the European scene. I'll take a tiny break. I'll see you guys soon. Yakov versus Hero Marine coming up next.